So we're here. Some of y'all been hearing Bring the Heat. Everyone say Bring the Heat. Bring the heat. Say it again, Bring the Heat. Bring the heat. One more time, Bring the Heat. Bring the heat. Somebody say Bring a battery. Okay, there it is. You got to be quick on your feet. So this public safety system, this is one of the things I want to hold up when we think about what we need to do. So oftentimes when we think about the public safety system, this is an offering for us. So I'm not trying to tell us what to do. But when we think about the public safety system, we oftentimes say, we just need accountability. That's what we need. We just need accountability. How many folks in your city has a police oversight commission? You loving what's going on in your city? How many of y'all in your city got body cameras? You loving what's going on in your city? How many of y'all got procedural justice training, implicit bias training in your city? You love what's happening with your department? So the thing that I want to hold up for us is that we must begin to reimagine the public safety system into one that we are able to trust. There's a couple things I want to hold up for us. The HEAT acronym stands for 4 things. Everyone say hiring. Say equipment. Say accountability. And say training. So it is a change theory for us to think about how we go about bringing community control over the public safety system and transforming it into an agency that we trust and that we feel can deliver justice for our people and provide public safety. One of the things I want us to hold up and recognize is that the policing system of America, and a lot of us already know this because this is the work that we do, was never designed to protect us. Sometimes people don't like to talk about this because it's like you're bringing up old stuff. It's called history, right? The first incorporated police department was in the city of Boston, which operated as basically a public security agency that was all about keeping everyone secure and safe in the Northeast, which was very different from the slave patrols of the South, which had 3 main functions: to chase down runaway slaves, to organize terror so the slaves wouldn't leave, and to use excessive force to gain compliance. It's the history of policing. So when black people began to move out west and up north into Chicago and other places around the country, into Missouri, they started exporting the slave catchers of the South to deal with black folks. And subsequently, it became the Mexican immigrants, still emerging from this ethos of chasing them down, organizing terror, and using excessive force to gain compliance. So when people say that the police are operating like terrorists, I need some of us who break out in a rash like I used to a few years ago in hearing that, to understand that the historicity of policing is found in racial terror. So there's only so much reform you can do to a system that's actually its rootedness. It was created to serve a certain function. Now, I could go on a whole nother piece around, I'm starting to preach, I don't know why. I could go, I'm 3 inches off the ground and I got a mic in my hand. Old habits die hard, amen, right? But you could say the same thing about America. Right? America was founded on genocide and the devaluing of darker bodies, and it just can't get rid of that because it doesn't know how to actually have an economy that doesn't include free labor. Hasn't figured that out in 300 years. So got to lock people up. Got to find some way because it doesn't know how to do it. So what we're offering in HEAT is for us to think about how do we begin to reimagine the public safety system and cut our transformation revolution theory into slices. And think about how do we work in changing the system that exists so that it can be transformed ultimately, that we will create a public safety system that we want, that we feel can actually deliver justice. Now, one of the things I want to hold, there's a diversity of thought in this room around even what I just said. And that's why all of us are here in the room. Because there's some of us, and I rock with y'all, and we all rock together, that are like, we don't need no police, no public agency at all. We don't need nothing. We all going to keep one another safe. Now that is, you know what I've learned? Everybody's theory is legitimate in a way, because it's your theory. Then there's some folks that have, and we're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow in a conversation about intersectionality, that there's some folks in the way in which they're showing up in different parts of their story are pushing on how we need to think about that. So we want to hold all of it together, recognizing that until all of us are free, none of us are free. And I actually want to figure out, how do we, as John Powell talks about, widen the circle of human concern so that everybody from the young 7-8-year-old boy in Ferguson, Missouri, all the way to the folks down in Anaheim, all the way to our native sisters and brothers up in True North, California, are all experiencing safety, freedom, and opportunity, because that's not about America. That's about humanity. That's about we all come into this world and deserve that. So take a quick look at this video. Make sure the volume's up.
And so we say, for everyone that feels that we're disrupting their status quo tonight, we say that our status quo has been disrupted for 400 years. To everyone who says tonight that they have an emergency to go to, I say my people have been in a state of emergency for the last 400 years. Now we are not at a point for police reform. That day is over. The system cannot be reformed. We need a total fundamental transformation of the public safety system in the United States of America.
There's so much incredible work going on across the state and the country, all working in different lanes to journey to a similar destination for the people we love: liberation. Our work is a lot like a highway, but the reality is we do it in different ways. But different doesn't have to mean deficient. We're passionate about different expressions, and yet we all want to see a public safety system that we can trust and is accountable to our communities. But how do we wrap our work around a system so expansive? It seems to me we're all traveling in different lanes on the same highway, trying to get to a shared destination. We believe we can begin that journey through H.E.A.T. H.E.A.T is an ecosystem that helps align our different strategies and approaches, building our shared power to work differently and together at the same time. In the H.E.A.T ecosystem, we want to ask 4 main questions. How are we transforming the system around hiring, equipment, accountability, and training. Community control is something that's absolutely needed. Our public safety system has spun out of control, and it's time for us as community to come together to bring forth solutions that we can leave a public safety system for the next generation. H.E.A.T provides us an opportunity to think beyond our protest and our necessary critique and begin to start building in very strategic and specific ways that help recreate a public safety system. There is no silver bullet. There is no magic solution. It's going to take all of us, every day, all the time, working together to bring about the change that we need. So join us as we bring the heat, because it is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains.